All right, it's 7:05. I think we'll get started. We try to stay close to on schedule. Are you going to take down the slideshow, Lance, at this point? Thank you. That's good for me. Now I can see the folks who are here. Senator Mike, thanks for being here. I hadn't seen you earlier. Let's get started. Good morning, Rotary Club of Healdsburg Sunrise and distinguished guests. And thank you so much for joining us. This is our 12th annual Teacher Appreciation event. I'm Larry Mills. I'm the president of the Rotary Club of Healdsburg Sunrise, and it's my honor to welcome you to this wonderful event. I have to say, this is one of my favorite meetings of the year, where we get to reflect on the remarkable work that these educators are doing to nurture and challenge and support Healdsburg's youth. And it is vitally important to recognize the significant impact that these honorees and so many other dedicated teachers have on the many, many lives that are changed for the better because of them. Throughout the country, Teacher Appreciation Week is celebrated the first full week of May. And it's the time when teachers get the extra credit that they deserve, and boy, do they deserve it. I think you're aware that teaching is one of the oldest professions. In 561 BC, a little research here in history, the first private teacher in history was Confucius, one of the most learned persons of all time. And in ancient Greece, a huge value was placed on educating children. In this country, beginning in the 1600s, the Puritans established schools to teach not just reading, writing, and arithmetic, but also to reinforce the values of citizenship. I know each of us has a favorite teacher who influenced you. I know I do. And I encourage you to think of a teacher who changed your life. And if that teacher is still living, reach out to that person and express your thanks. Among us today, the educators, Rotarians, friends, and family members, I understand, well, I know we have in attendance special Rotary member attendees from Sofia, Bulgaria, who plan to begin their own Teacher Appreciation Recognition event soon. Please join me in welcoming them. I think we can't really applaud, maybe jazz hands is about the best we can do. So please welcome our friends from Bulgaria who are sitting in today. Before we begin our program, I need to cover some administrative matters. As I said, please set your microphone on mute unless you're being called upon to speak. You may want to set your video view to speaker view rather than gallery view. I like gallery view so I can see you all, but you can get a larger Zoom square for the speaker by going on speaker view, which might be more convenient for you. Also, if you have if you want a program, there is a program for this event. And if you did not get one ahead of time, there is a link to the program, I believe it's been posted in the chat. Is that true, Jan?
Yes, it's in there. Yep.
I think it's there. So you can access a program for this event. The meeting is being recorded, so it can be accessed and watched later by you or your friends and family. And finally, before we introduce the principals and our awardees today, we want to welcome our esteemed dignitaries who are in attendance. And for that purpose, I'm going to introduce Brigitte Mansell. Brigitte is a proud, recently retired public high school English teacher. Brigitte taught for 38 years in the Santa Rosa City Schools, and she's currently a substitute teacher in the Healdsburg Unified School District. Bridget also served on the Healdsburg City Council for 4 years, beginning in 2014, and ended her term as mayor of Healdsburg in 2018. So Bridget is going to introduce the dignitaries or their representatives. Take it away, Bridget.
All right. Good morning, everybody. It's such a beautiful morning, and I love attending a morning meeting. The sun's coming in. I'm facing east, and I want to thank the Healdsburg Sunrise Rotary Club. We will have some repetitive gratitude this morning, but you know, it feels good, as you mentioned, Larry, to just be in gratitude this morning for what we know is good. And what we know is good are our teachers. So it's May 4th, 2022. And this morning I've been reflecting on this past year, past 2 years actually, and so much has happened in our hearts, in our heads, and in our spirits. And we know the value of our beloved Healdsburg community more than ever. And I remember hearing the expression, you bring to the table the vision of an educator. Teachers are mentors, advocates, role models. Teachers are the community leaders who support our families and our community that depends on them. And during the pandemic, and I know you get this, our public schools served as other schools, but I'm just going to really focus on public schools this morning and tell you how proud I am of our teachers and our principals, who actually are the principal teachers. Remember how to spell that. It's P-A-L. That means main or chief. Our principals that showed up and our leaders in education that showed up to keep our children safe, to support our families and our community. It's never enough we can never enough support our teachers and our community of educators. Teachers are mentors and advocates. And so here we are this morning, honoring service and passion, and the day-to-day commitment. I just know you know that, to be with our most precious, our children, our youth, who are identity forming. So I want to just welcome our distinct dignitaries. I love that expression, don't you, dignitaries? I love that. I love Rotary because it brings us to a civility again of what we're really dealing with, to serve in the public. So we have Mayor of Healdsburg here. We have our supervisor. We have our incredibly supportive state senator. Assemblyman Wood isn't going to be here, but we know he's been supportive of public education. And it's my distinct pleasure to introduce our neighbors who live in Healdsburg. And just to let everyone know that it really is beautiful to just be here this morning and to feel the presence of all of us, even though it looks like the Hollywood Squares a little bit. I'm looking for Paul Lynn in the middle. Those of you that don't know the joke, it's okay. But I always find Zoom to be a very curious place, but I'm glad we're here together. And I just want to welcome everybody. Thank you for being here and for just breathing into this day, this morning, and this wonderful occasion to take some time to recognize people that truly are, and I know we say it, but we can't say it enough, showing up for our kids. And I think that is clear that we need that more than ever. So it's my distinct pleasure to welcome someone who, honestly, I can't think of someone I'd rather be introducing. I never have introduced him before, our state senator, Mike McGuire, who to me is a champion of public education, of community, of making sure we get what we need. He's been an advocate all along for the community of Healdsburg, but of course he's going larger now, and I'm glad he is, because I really support and believe that we need to have good leadership right now, y'all. So thank you for being here, all the dignitaries, and I want to turn it over to Senator McGuire. And again, thank you so much, everybody, for just breathing in and feeling the presence of this gratitude this morning. So Senator McGuire, I hope you can turn on your mic, and welcome. So much gratitude for you. Thank you.
Well, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Let's give it up for Ms. Mansell. We are grateful for her and for hosting us. Thank you so much, President Mills, and of course, the Sunrise Rotary. Can we just give a round of applause to Sunrise Rotary for moving this recognition forward each and every year? We are so grateful for bringing us together. I want to say good morning to Superintendent Vandenheuvel and Meekin, grateful for their leadership. I want to say good morning to Mayor Jimenez. He does fantastic work on behalf of the city of Healdsburg, and of course, Supervisor Gore, who is working for us every day here in Northern Sonoma County. Bottom line is this, our state and our nation, we're facing big challenges coming out of this pandemic. And no matter what has been thrown at teachers here in Healdsburg or throughout the state, they never stopped moving forward. They never gave up on our students. They never gave in on their families. They never quit fighting for the kids who call Healdsburg home. And we've heard this morning. Teachers have stepped up like never before through online teaching to in-person teaching, then back to online teaching through all of the debates about masking and the ever-changing health rules and orders. There's been one constant that we've had in Healdsburg, and that's teachers. Teachers, they showed up and they delivered. In many cases, these educators did this while teaching their own kids at home for months on end. I think that you will agree with me. Teachers have a tough job on a good day, but these past 2.5 years have been one for the record books. So this morning, we honor you. On behalf of Assemblymember Jim Wood, we honor you. We honor your commitment to our kids, and we want to say thank you. And we look forward to working with you in the months and years to come. And I want to recognize Will Tosconi, who is representing Assemblymember Wood here today. Thank you so much for allowing us to be with you. And we are grateful for your hard work, your commitment, and for delivering in good times, and especially in our most challenging. Thank you so much, Ms. Mansell.
Again, just thank you so much, Senator, for all the work you're doing, and also for just being so real and being our neighbor and understanding where we are. It's beautiful to have that representation right now. So thank you. So moving forward, I want to just introduce and again invite the dignitaries to speak just a few minutes, actually under 2 minutes, but they all know that. So I want to welcome my neighbor, our neighbor, Supervisor Gore. Is he here? I don't know if he is. Do I hear him? No?
I don't see him, Bridget.
Okay, no problem. Okay, he might pop back on. We're all good. We'll just be flux. Okay, Mayor Jimenez, welcome and thank you for being here this morning.
Thank you, Bridget. And gosh, you know, it's always so hard to follow up after Senator McGuire. Thank you everyone for being here today. Thank you, my neighbors, right? And so I want to first start out by thanking Sunrise Rotary for having us this morning, President Larry Mills, who I've known for a very long time. And then for the first time, I'm not sure if many of you know, but I also want to give thanks to my previous AP English teacher, Miss Bridget Mansell, who was my teacher back at Pioneer High way back in the day before I became mayor. So thank you all for holding space today. And I'll be brief. I think this is really important for me. And, you know, I'd like to thank also the other elected officials, Senator Mike McGuire, Assemblymember Jim Wood, James Gore. You know, kind of what I'm thinking about is the theme of gratitude. And when I think about public service, it's not only in the realm of government, but it's also in the classroom. There is no doubt that our students have been through so much these last 2 years with the pandemic, but also our teachers have been through a lot. Our school administrators and our volunteers have been through a lot. So I want to honor that. I am in so much gratitude for all of your service for everyone here and at the school district. Our teachers had to shift to remote learning, adapting, changing, all the while still ensuring a high quality of teaching. Not just related to the classroom either, but you folks had to change your lives at home to address the challenges of the work that was changing. I'm sure many of you have families and you met the challenge of being able to teach and also manage your lives at home through the last 2 years. I want to say that our community and our city honors your service. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah. And I just want to thank everybody. And again, just want to turn it over to the next person on the program. So thank you so much, everybody. And if James Gore does come, and I don't know if he is here, I can't tell, but you can definitely plan on having him speak if he wants. But I think we can definitely introduce now Chris. I call him Chris Vander. I always say his name wrong. Sorry, Chris. I love this man. He was the principal at Healdsburg High School when my children went through. Now he's our superintendent. So I would really love to invite Chris, if you're on, I think you are, to speak, if you would please, and share anything that you want to share about your beautiful community of teachers and educators. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, thank you, Bridgette. And I just want to give Bridgette a shout out. We are short subs. It's a huge issue. And she is a hero just for stepping in when we need her. So thank you so much for that. And thank you, Sunrise Rotary. This is honestly, it's my favorite event of the year. I wish we were all together in person. I understand the reason for being on Zoom, but can't wait to be back in the same room celebrating teachers. It's just always such a pleasure. And I say this every year, we don't do enough to recognize the contributions that our teachers make and our educators overall. This year, unlike any other, the job has really shifted. And our teachers have done an amazing job of meeting kids where they're at. So you may not completely understand unless you're in a classroom or a counseling office or in a school office. Kids kind of forgot how to come to school and what school was coming out of distance learning. And so the teachers that are here before you and counselors have done an amazing job meeting kids where they're at, not only academically and making sure that we're making up for some of the learning that they didn't get during distance learning, but social emotionally, kids are, they're anxious, they're experiencing some mental health issues, and everybody who we're recognizing today has done an amazing job of making sure that first and foremost, they treat their kids as humans, they have great relationships, and that they're being taken care of so that they actually can learn. And so the job this year has been really different. I have high school teachers who tell me, they're realizing what it's like to be a kindergarten teacher, because you have to recondition students to being in a classroom and what expectations are. And they've done an absolute amazing job. So it is timely to be here with you all at recognizing this amazing group of educators. And I couldn't be more pleased with who's been nominated, and just look forward to hearing more about them individually. So thank you, Sunrise for Rotary, for putting this on, and here's to being in person next year, right?
Thank you again for all the leadership during this time, Superintendent, and just know that we're here for you. We definitely have your back, and we want to support our public schools more than ever. So, and Sunrise Rotary, I just want to say the last thing, I just really appreciate this. And I know President Mills already told us that this was, I think, the 12th year. It's just a remarkable thing what this club does everywhere in our community. There's so many events, but obviously this one means a lot. So thank you so much. And again, just moving on with the program, we'll go to, I believe, back to Larry to present the actual awardees.
Right. Thank you, Bridgette. And thanks to all the public officials who are here today. I see
just arrived.
I see James Gore arriving. You missed your slot, James, to speak, but I'm going to give you a chance if you'd like to say a few words. Whoops, are you there?
Just that it's a pleasure to be with you and be with all these amazing teachers. I'm the reason I missed my slot is because I'm running around with one kid who's sick and one who refuses to get up even though he loves school. So I'm in the middle of the mix with all of you guys, and it's a pleasure to just see you. I just also acknowledge that I was out last weekend. All of us are back into this, getting in the mix. And Dia del Nino at Corazon, and I saw, the Wonder League getting set up. I saw Archie and others out there, and it was just absolutely joyous. So I just want to continue to honor, Archie, Sean, everybody who's been working their tails off, and all the teachers. So just happy to listen in, because at this point, it always gives me the chills when you guys pass over and tell us what these teachers are doing. This is the magic.
Thanks, James. I appreciate your making the effort to get here in light of what's going on with you. We will now proceed with the presentation of the awards to our honorees. The protocol is that I'll call on each principal in turn to introduce the nominees, actually awardees, from his or her school. And after the introduction of the teacher and hopefully some acknowledgement by all of us to honor that teacher. The awardee will have the opportunity to say a few words as well. And we'll go through the program that you have in the order of the program. So proceeding ahead, I will now call on Principal Jeff Franey from Healdsburg Elementary School to tell us about his nominee, Maggie Alcala.
Great. Good morning, everyone. Thank you guys for being here. It's definitely an honor to be here in front of all of you virtually. I don't think jazz hands have ever meant so much as right now. So without kind of taking too long, I'm going to jump into it. I'm here to introduce Maggie Alcala. She is an amazing teacher. We've worked together for 3 years, and it has been absolutely remarkable to see how agile she is. This being her 27th, going on 28th year serving the students of HUSD. So she has taught in grades 1st through 5th. Maggie also has extensive experience and expertise in supporting English language learners. She's taught several years of after school intervention and summer school. She's always looking for ways to go above and beyond. She's currently teaching 2nd grade and has been collaborating with her grade level teams to implement project-based learning, which is something that is new to Maggie. But she's definitely jumped in and implemented it very, very well. Maggie strives to both engage her students academically and culturally. For example, she teaches her students every year the Mexican folklorico dances that last year during COVID, they actually performed outside at the front of the school so their parents could see on the curb. So it's always amazing to see what Maggie is doing. She has remained extremely agile through all of this. And Maggie herself says that teaching is truly a rewarding experience, and she has learned so much about life in the process, and you can see that each and every day in the way that she engages with her students and families. So thank you so much, Maggie. It's been a pleasure working with you, and it's just, thank you. Really appreciate it. Jazz hands.
Let's honor Maggie with jazz hands at least. Great. So Maggie, would you like to say a few words?
Yes, good morning, everyone. And so I'm honored to be recognized as Teacher of the Year. I've been teaching, like I said, for HUSD for about 26 years. It's been a wild ride, ranging from multiple program changes, and of course, just recently, learning how to teach online, collaborating year to year to deliver the best instruction, and also celebrating just recently that we are delivering project-based learning K-5. So my greatest joy and motivation year to year is just watching students grow academically, socially, and emotionally. And so I'd like to thank Jeff for being an amazing leader and supporting our teachers day to day by checking in. Thank you so much, Jeff.
Great, thank you, Maggie, and congratulations on your award. Yay. Moving along here, I'll now call on, let's see, Principal Erica McGuire from, I recognize that name, from Healdsburg Elementary School, Fitch Mountain, to tell us about her nominee, Emily Hansen.
All right. Good morning, everybody. As everyone has already said, I just need to first thank Sunrise Rotary for this annual recognition. It's such an honor to be with you, and we appreciate of the work you guys do for our community and recognizing our exceptional educators each year. And I wish that we were in person and hope to be back in person next year. I'm honored this morning to recognize Emily Hansen. She started her career in Healdsburg 6 years ago. She started a year at Fitch Mountain campus before I did. And she came to FMC to teach an SDC class, meaning that students were placed in her classroom for the full day, students with IEPs and special education. And in year two, she really, and I use this as an example to talk later just of her commitment to equity. And in year 2, she really said, all of our students should be in general education classes and have access to being with their peers. And so we changed the model because of her. And that's what she does. She really, she pushes us to be better and to do better. She's an exceptional special educator, setting goals for her students and working to meet those goals, whether they be related to academic achievement or behavior goals. She really works to meet their needs. And then what also sets her apart is just her willingness. She always starts with a yes, no matter what I come to her with, or there's a new student on campus, or we need to change the whole entire schedule of students or our paraprofessionals. She also manages all of our paraprofessional schedules and making sure students are supported in their classrooms when they need it. And she just always starts with a yes, which I appreciate. And then, says, we'll figure it out. We'll make it work. And she has, she works with some of our toughest students, again, those needing academic supports, but also those behavior supports. And she just has so much patience and empathy for her students and for all of our students that it's really remarkable. I've never met anybody who has so much patience. In her classroom is a safe space. She had pet rats for years, which unfortunately she doesn't have anymore. We need to get those rats back because they were, it was just something. I never went to visit the rats myself, kind of freaked me out, but the kids loved them and they knew that she developed relationships with students where it was a safe place for them to go, not just for learning, but also they knew that they would be heard and seen. And she, I'm really sad to be losing her. Next year, she's going to work by her choice at HES campus with our younger students. And I'm really, HES is going to be lucky to have her. But it's a loss for us at Fitch Mountain campus because she brings so much to our students and our staff and really pushes us to be better. And so it's an honor to recognize Emily Hansen as the Fitch Mountain campus Educator of the Year.
Great. Jazz hands. Thank you, Erica. Emily, I'd like to hear more about your pet rats. You can say whatever you wish.
Thank you for mentioning the rats. Yes, we do miss them. I'm so used to talking in front of kids, so talking in front of so many grown-ups is kind of scary. I almost kind of want to cry. It has been a tough couple of years, and I just really do appreciate everything. I love Fitch Mountain so much, and I am going to miss it a lot, but I think next year it's going to be a good change, and I do appreciate all of this a lot. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily, and congratulations to you. I will now call on Principal Rima Meekin from Westside Elementary to tell us about her nominees for this year, who are the entire Westside teaching team.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Just going to quickly make sure I cover everything. Thank you, the Healdsburg Sunrise Rotary, and thank you for letting us honor all of our teachers. I'm holding up the plaque and this. Thank you for the award and the plaque, and for honoring our amazing teachers in Healdsburg. Thank you to the dignitaries who are here today as well. And thank you, Jan, for putting all of this together and delivering all the certificates and the awards and advocating for us to be able to honor all of our teachers. This is my first year as superintendent principal at Westside, and I'm really proud to call Westside my home and Healdsburg my new home. I live in Santa Rosa, but I do consider Healdsburg home now. When I proposed the idea to Jan, actually, when Jan sent me the email to select someone, I responded and I said, it's really hard because it's my first year. I wasn't with all of my teachers. We have 7 teachers. I wasn't with everybody last year, so it's hard to decide. So I'm going to go to my faculty meeting and ask them for their input. And it was such a moving meeting to hear them share how much they admire and respect each other, and they couldn't choose one person. And so I said, well, I'll go back and ask Jan and the Rotary if they would be willing to just honor all of you as a group. And you were, so thank you very much, Sunrise Rotary. And so it is my great pleasure. I want to make sure, I wanted to say that I'm really, really happy that it's the whole group, because even in the short time that I've been with them, I am so impressed with how hard they work and how much they love their students. And we took our Youth Truth Survey in January, and their love came through in the survey from the students, because 99% of the students said, when the question was, do you feel your teacher cares about you? And it was under the relationship category, and 99% of the students said yes. And so, and felt that. And so that speaks volumes about our teachers here at Westside. And I'm honored to present the plaque to Lamiel Bjorquist, who is accepting the award on behalf of all of her colleagues.
Perfect, Lamiel. Congratulations. I think, Rima, do you want to mention someone mention the names of all the teachers? Okay, I just want to make sure we get their names out there. Lamiel, I guess you are designated to get the plaque today, and if you want to say any words, go for it.
Yeah, I want to accept this on behalf of our faculty, and I want to acknowledge our kindergarten teacher, James Greenwald. He is always purposeful in his pedagogy, and he always sees the individual first. Jennifer Kettman is our first grade teacher, and she's patient and consistent and lively in her instruction. And Beth Mendez, our second grade teacher, she is into questioning. She honors questioning. She encourages questioning. She celebrates questioning. Sarah Key, our third grade teacher, she has high expectations, but she keeps learning fun and real. Suzy Dalton, who's our fifth grade teacher, she's big-hearted. She's generous with her knowledge and her talent, and she has the ability to teach all children at all ages. She's been in multiple grades here. Our sixth grade teacher, Teresa Brooks, she understands tweeners, and she teaches with just the right amount of humor and toughness and rigor and creativity. And our resource teacher, Heidi Rochford, she just believes that everyone can in their own way and in their own time. And these descriptions could have actually been interchanged with almost every single staff member. And I'm just so fortunate to be surrounded by their talent. And thank you for allowing all of us to be acknowledged.
Great, thank you.
I'm going to jump in and say something about Lamiel, because she knows anything about herself. So she's a veteran teacher. How many years now?
28 at Westside.
28, wow. Amazing. So her craft knowledge is immense. She shares with all of her colleagues everything she knows. She checks in with everybody. She's super organized and just jumps in whenever needed. And she's been a huge support for me this year. So I really couldn't have made it without Lamiel. So I would definitely want to honor her. I'm glad she was the one chosen to represent everybody. Thank you.
Great. Congratulations, Lamiel. I'm interested in what is a tweener. Maybe this is not the time for you to tell me about it, but
they're the in-between. They're the sixth graders, so they're not kids, but they're not teenagers. They're 12. They're kind of tweeners, and they're morphing into that preteen stage. And Teresa Brooks gets them, which is a talent in itself.
Well, it sounds like a challenge to me, a tweener. Thank you. Let's move forward. I'm going to now call on Principal Chris Miller from Healdsburg Junior High School to tell us about his nominee, Bethany Carlson.
Thank you for the opportunity, Larry and Sunrise Rotary. I'm very honored to be presenting our award this year to Bethany Carlson. Bethany serves as our school counselor and has for the last 8 years. One of the things that I would say is most impressive about her is her ability to listen to students without judgment, and also to really help them find solutions to their own concerns, and her ability to help them develop their own self-advocacy skills. This has been a tremendous past couple of years. I thought last year would be the most difficult year we had in education. We came back and all of these students have so many different needs that we kind of anticipated, but didn't really realize what they would mean until they got here. And the one person, taking that on head first has been Bethany Carlson. Even during the pandemic, she was guided by the question, what's best for students, and went well above her call of duty to go out and do home visits, call constantly, follow up, get services through third-party organizations, hook up families with community resources. It was an incredible job that she did during the pandemic. Since coming back, as has been mentioned already, we've had some difficulties finding people to step into the classroom. And she's never hesitated to say, if I need to step in as a substitute, I will jump in and do that as needed. She's taken on additional roles this year, and has learned how to assist running the testing, and will be working with me on promotion and awards. But the last thing two things that I want to mention, in terms of support, she really does, like I said, guide herself by what's best for the student. And no more is that true than when she's working with students who have some questions about their own gender and sexuality. Middle school, junior high is an incredibly difficult time for any and all students. And for those who have the added burden of considering who they are in this world, and doing so with compassion and making sure that they feel accepted, and not only accepted, but able to stand up for themselves, advocate for themselves, and be activists for themselves and their community, is an incredible talent that she has. And it shows through our GSA club, which is our largest and most thriving club on campus. And lastly, in addition to her support for students, she often finds herself being a support for staff when they're just overwhelmed with their day. They need someone to talk to. She always makes time for them as well. In difficult situations, Bethany sees sometimes the worst part of a student's life or a student's day, and staff aren't used to seeing that all the time. So even when she says, you do have to file a CPS report, but I'll be here to hold your hand and walk you through it and make sure that you feel supported in doing so. She always does that, and again, always guided by what's in the best interest for students. I couldn't think of a more deserving person to win this award. So again, it is with my greatest honor to recognize Bethany Carlson as this year's Educator of the Year.
Congratulations, Bethany. I think you have one of the toughest jobs to be a counselor to that age group. Bethany, would you like to say a few words?
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me here. Thank you, Chris, for the award. I absolutely love what I do. This is my 8th year in this district. I've never actually worked in another district. What I love about it is the small community. I've gotten to know so many students over the years, families. And so when their siblings come through, it's like, I feel like I know them already. I really appreciate Chris's, how much he trusts me. He gives me so much autonomy to do what I think is best for students through different clubs and helping with leadership, and just giving me that opportunity to be kind of creative with them. So I really appreciate that. I rarely hear no. If I have an idea and he can tell I'm passionate about it, I get the full support. So Thank you.
Thank you, Bethany, and congratulations.
Thank
to
you.
Moving forward, I'll now call on Principal Amy Kerr-Jones from the Healdsburg High School to tell us about her nominee, Mark Dominicelli.
Thank you. It's an absolute pleasure being here today. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Now we're going to talk about the teachers that work with the big kids, the young adults. And I have to say, Mr. Dominicelli, I have never seen you without a baseball cap. You clean up very well. Look at you, Mr. Dominicelli right there. Let's see. Mr. Dominicelli is, how do I explain it? He is like the beacon of HHS. He is that father figure. He has been serving youth in the Healdsburg area for 23 years as a coach and also a teacher. And he is the go-to person. He is the man of reason. He's the father figure. He's the one that can talk a student down, talk a teacher to relax them, to help them. And he always will jump in to help. And one thing that really stands out in my mind when I was talking to some of the students about Mr. Dominicelli, they said, he has this special quote, and the quote is, "Believe what you can't see." And so when I asked Mr. Dominicelli, I said, where did this come from? What does this mean? And this was years ago. He was a PE teacher for a child that came from a very troublesome household. And this student said this to him, you believe what you can't see. And she came to school every single day despite her obstacles. And so that's his motto. He's known for that motto, and that's Mr. D. And it is just an absolute honor to work with you, Mr. Dominicelli. You are positive, and you are a staple in the Healdsburg community, and just a wonderful role model for all of our teenagers, and you have touched the lives of thousands and thousands of students. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you for all you do for our students. It really takes, they say a village, but it takes a community. It takes a school, and it takes our families to work together to help our teenagers become well-rounded young individuals that will go out and come back and serve the Healdsburg community. So congratulations to you, Mr. Dominicelli.
Congratulations. And I wrote down, believe what you can't see. I'm going to contemplate that myself. So Mark, would you like to say a few words?
Well, thank you. First of all, good morning, Erica. Tell your husband I said hello. I was going to tell him that this morning, but he already jumped off. No, a lot of it had to do with, the girl we were talking about is Faith Collins. She ended up graduating from the University of Oregon, and she just, she'd come to school, and it was just one of those things. She always said, she goes, D, you just have to believe in what you can't see. I'm going to make it eventually. I know it doesn't look like it now. And it was funny because she came back and she visited me at the beginning of this semester, and it was great to see her. But I'd like to thank, my principal and the school board. I think they finally hit a home run with hiring Amy. Hallelujah. So first and foremost, this is probably the highlight of my career because it's Rotary. My mother was a school teacher for 30 years at Cloverdale. My dad was a part of Rotary. It's funny because I grew up in Cloverdale, and it was family first, church second, community third, and Rotary was fourth. And when we used to go on vacation, my dad would always go to the front desk and ask, when are the Rotary meetings? And I never knew you could go to different towns and still go to all the meetings. So that was a big deal for me because, my dad was part of Rotary for 34 years, and he never missed a meeting. And I always remember this because he had a heart attack in '94, and he was in the hospital for 2 weeks. So I went to visit him, and there was 2 guys in the room. So I walked out and I asked my mom what they were doing, and they said they were doing a Rotary meeting because he missed a meeting before. And I thought to myself, well, this has to be illegal. But no, I really appreciate it. My dad always taught me that God gives you one gift in life, and you got to figure out what it is and run with it. And honestly, my gift is to teach high school kids and kind of just give them the knowledge that I know. And hopefully, to me, high schools and junior high is is a time where it's such a transition part of their life that I'm just glad I'm just here to help them. So with that being said, I'd like to thank everybody, and I really appreciate it, and I'm really humbled. Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. Healdsburg is fortunate to have you.
Thanks.
Well, this is wonderful. I'm inspired. I hearing all these stories. I'm always inspired every year when we have our teacher awardees. This actually includes the formal presentations, but I have a lot of thank yous here. First, I'd like to thank all our distinguished, I'll use that word, teacher honorees. And I think maybe we should do that all together with the jazz hands or rounds of applause for everyone, for all of them. And I would, I have to, and I want to express our Rotary clubs and my personal deep appreciation to our fellow Rotarian, Jan Whitney, who so ably chaired this teacher appreciation event. We can give her jazz hands now, but I've got more to say about Jan. Jan stepped in. I mentioned Mark Bissignani, who's on here, organized this event last year and had it very well organized. So Jan stood on the shoulders of Mark, but Jan organized this event. She contacted the principals. She confirmed the nominees. She produced the program and publicized it. She coordinated the delivery to the awardees of the official proclamations, plaques, and checks. Each awardee got $500 from our club. And Jan basically made this event happen. So I think we should express our appreciation again to Jan Whitney for all she's done. It was incredible, incredible effort. Thanks, Jan. And the program says I'm supposed to call on you, Jan, for some closing remarks. So I'll do that.
Thank you, President Larry. Good morning, everybody, and congratulations to today's award recipients. The Healdsburg students are beyond fortunate to have you all on their side, and I'm personally just so grateful for all that you do for our kids. So thank you so much. I also want to say thank you to everybody who attended today and who supported these wonderful people and their noble careers. Couldn't do this without you being here, so thank you so much. Thank you to the Rotary Club of Healdsburg Board of Directors for supporting this event. And a huge shout out to Bridget Mansell for helping me work with the dignitaries and get the proclamations together. That was not a small undertaking. So thank you, Bridget. She's pretty cool. And finally, much gratitude to Senator McGuire, Supervisor Gore, Mayor Jimenez, and Superintendent Chris for your participation and supporting today's event. Really appreciate you being here. So this meeting is officially concluded. Have a wonderful day, and we look forward to seeing you all again next year. So thank you so much for being here. Have a great day.
Thanks, Jan. We've reached the end of the program.